Yes, it's Friday. It might be a new day, but I'm still saying, oh, talk to the hand. And I tell you, he'd be all up in my face. He'd be like this and that. And I said, you better step back because you better just talk to the hand. You better talk to the hand. No way. And he would not even listen to me. I said, you better talk to the hand. And guess what happened? Oh my God, guess what happened? A big red hand, like big, done come out of the sky and smacked him. That's right. Don't mess with the hand. It was a big red hand come straight out of the sky. Done smacked him. I'm telling you, big red hand. Hey, Tubies, it's Psychic Bob. Well, welcome to Friday. I tell you, I'm all hopped up. I don't know on what, but it's Friday. I'm so glad you guys are here. Well, today we're going to talk about another magical charm. By the way, welcome to the newbies here. We've had a number of new subscribers. Thank you for joining Spirit Channel. And if you've been watching, especially this week, and been watching our Charms series, and you're enjoying it, why don't you go ahead and hit subscribe. Join our channel. We'd love you to be here. Well, today is Friday, and we're going to continue with our series of magical charms. Today we're going to talk about a charm that's not as probably well known in the magical community. It's called the Red Hand of Power. That's right. And this is a really interesting charm. You don't see as much of it, but it's still around for those who are observant, you know. Now, you know, yesterday we talked about the Hamsa, and I showed you my Hamsa pendant. And if you didn't see yesterday's video, go check that out because that's kind of like the precursor to today's video. Now, when I did this painting, by the way, this is my new painting called the Red Hand of Power. And if you'd like a magical talisman for your house, go over to my website and get a free download of this. And it's got instructions there. Just scroll down the page, you'll see it. Red Hand of Power, free. It's in a copy of my original. This is my original, and you can have a print copy of this. So pop over to PsychicBob.com and get your copy today, okay? Do. So Red Hand of Power. Well, Red Hand of Power is not as known, as I said, in most of the world. Most people seem to know the Hamsa more than this. This charm actually goes back to probably around the Middle Ages. And it's a long, convoluted history behind it. But it deals with one of the parts of the history. Can't talk to. One of the parts of the history deals with the wars between Ireland and England. You know, now back in the day, you know, the English and the Irish and the Scottish, they were all fighting each other, you know. And now, thank God, it's somewhat of a united kingdom, I hope. Anybody over there would tell me, is it a united kingdom now? I'd love to hear. But anyways, the story goes basically that there was an ancient tribal chieftain or a king in Ireland whose name escapes me and I'll have to find. I'm blanking out. But this king defended Ireland against an English invasion. And the legend goes that when he won the battle, his hand was covered in blood from fighting, his own cuts inflicted on others. You have to remember, back in the day, people actually used knives and swords and actually hacked each other up. It's pretty gruesome. But supposedly at the end of the war, he had his hand covered in blood, and he took one of the banners off of the battlefield, and he laid his hand on it and imprinted it in blood. So he took his hand and laid it on and left a bloody handprint. And this was risen over the territory, particularly in the area called Ulster, which is in Ireland up in the north. And this became known as the Red Hand of Ulster. Excuse me, the Red Hand of Ulster. So the Red Hand of Ulster is a sign of Irish independence. But beyond just Irish independence, it also represents power in battle. It represents overcoming odds that are stacked against you. Now, today you'll find, if you travel to Ireland and also to Northern Ireland is part of the United Kingdom, that you'll see this red hand everywhere. Now, what's really interesting is originally it was made by the Irish against the English. But when Britain conquered Ireland, and they then started using it as their sign of victory. And today in the province of Ulster, Part of Ulster is in Northern Ireland and part of it is in the Republic of Ireland. And each side claims this as their symbol. So those in Northern Ireland who are unionists and loyalists to the United Kingdom raise this and say, we still control Ireland, we're with the Queen, God save the Queen. So this symbol has unfortunately become rather politicized, but as I said, both sides use it. It's also used in I think rugby or football, I can't remember which sport, but there's a team that in Ulster that uses the red hand as their symbol as well. So it's also in the sports arena. But wherever the red hand is displayed, it represents power. Now, back in the 1600s, when England was, expanding its empire, they were trying to raise, armies to settle Scotland and also to go over to the New World, to Canada. And King James I at the time created a new title of nobility. The new title of nobility was baronet. A baronet ranks higher than a knight, but is one below a baron. So it's a title of nobility that is awarded to people. Now, in the old days, the kings would grant this title to people. It was basically a fundraiser. Hey, we need $1 million to fund the army to settle Scotland or to send them over to settle Canada. And so people who would donate, it'd be like $100,000 or $200,000, would be granted a title by the king, and the title was baronet. And a baronet is dressed as sir. You could think of it as like a hereditary knighthood. For example, many of you know Sir Elton John, right? Or Sir Mick Jagger. These are rock stars who were granted knighthoods by the Queen. Now, when you given a knighthood, you get the title of sir. And then you get like post-nominal initials, like whichever member of the branch of knighthood you belong to. But you cannot pass that title on to your children. Now, just to give you an example, for example, you guys know that I hold the title. I actually have a title of nobility. I am the Marquis of Montrose. And as Marquis of Montrose, my title is inheritable. I can pass it on to others. I can will it to people. It's a European title. But knighthoods cannot be passed on. So Sir Elton John cannot pass on his title to his children. Some titles can be passed on, some can't. But the title of baronet can be inherited. It's like an inheritable knighthood, basically. So if John Smith is Sir John Smith Baronet, his son, when he dies, will become Sir, say his son's name is William, he'll be Sir William Baronet. And so the title of baronet is passed on. The reason I bring this up is that the red hand is also the symbol of the baronets. So when you are made a baronet by the Queen or by the King, whoever's making you a baronet, you now wear a little badge that has the hand on it. Now in the baronet's badge, it's the left hand, which brings up the whole issue, is it the left hand or the right hand? Honestly, it really doesn't matter. They're both hands of power. But the red hand of power is worn by baronets as a sign of victory. Because remember, in the old days, they were funding armies to go conquer territory for the king. So the red hand was like, we have conquered in the name of the king. We have power. So this red hand symbol is, really gone throughout history and has been as a sign of victory and power. Now, you don't have to be in a war to have the red hand. All you have to do is claim it as your side of power, okay? So I'm going to put up here some pictures of the ways the red hand can be used. The red hand can be used as a charm. And so I'm going to show you some charms and some pictures of the red hand. And also, I think there's the flag of Northern Ireland and the flag of Ulster. So check out these red hands. Pretty neat stuff, isn't it? Now, as I said, you saw in there was a red Hamsa. Some of you probably recognize that in the pictures. It was like, I think, the last picture there. the red Hamsa. Now, the red Hamsa is interesting because really what we've got here in that charm is a conflagration, conjunction, a combination, we'll say that, of the traditional hand of Fatima, or the Hamsa, and the modern day red hand. So a lot of times what people do is they start to, confuse them and they cross over, and you'll see a lot of blend over. So that's like we talked about yesterday, that the eye, the evil eye is now combined with the Hamsa. Again, two different charms that have come together and become more powerful. And so the red hand of power is oftentimes now confused with the Hamsa. And so you're starting to see Hamsas that are becoming red, which is again a assimilation of two different charms. But it works. What do I think? I love it. I'm all for combining power. I'm not a strict person when it comes to that. I think, if it works for you, it works for you. So this is why I created this painting, which is the red hand of power. So if you want to get, a red hand of power for your house, you could print this out, frame it, and put it up, and now you've got a powerful talisman, and you just invoke the power of the red hand. Now, there are no, from what I found, rituals, again, like the Hamsa, no actual formal rituals with the red hand. Basically, you just put it up and you set the intent that it will be a guardian. So I would say, like with the red hand, if you have this in your house, you want to then put it up, and you could, again, pass it through incense to charge it, and then do a little prayer to the red hand and say, "Great red hand of power, I charge you. May you be guardian over this place. May you stand watch and always bring us victory against all who would come against us, and protect us against any evil. So mote it be." See, the intent is what's important. So you can create your own prayer, put up your hand of power, invoke the power, and there you go. You got the red hand of power, okay? Now, for those of you who may be inclined to get even more creative, a little more dramatic, I know some of you out there love to really take it to the next level. Well, I'm going to show you another way. If you really are into the red hand, you can take it to the really awesome level. So come on along. Let's have an adventure. Now, as I said, I know a lot of you really love to get into your magical charms and take it to the next level. And if you want to take this to the next level and you want more than a picture, how about having one of these? Behold, the mystical red hand of power. Check this out, guys. This is a real three-dimensional red hand of power. And it is life-size. Here's my hand. Here's the hand of power. You see that? Check that out, huh? Now let me show you. I'll just rotate it around here. It's a three-dimensional hand, life-size, and red. Now this is the ultimate charm if you're into this charm. If you love the red hand of power, this is the charm for you. Now, you're going to say, "Oh my God, Bob, where'd you get that? I've never seen that." Well, I got to tell you, I've never seen one either. I've looked for a red hand of power. I've found beautiful pictures, but I wanted a three-dimensional one. And I had the idea, the revelation came to me, that I could create my own. Now, the way this is made, let me tell you the secret behind this. If you go online to like eBay, they sell mannequin hands. These are jewelry display hands, and these are mannequin parts that you can buy. If you're in a jewelry store, you can buy these hands to display jewelry. A lot of people put rings on them or bracelets, and they put them, out. And when you buy them, they're going to be flesh color. They're going to look like human skin. But I went and bought a can of enamel bright red spray paint, and I spray painted the hand, and it gave it a beautiful gloss finish. And it really is the hand of power. Is that amazing or what, huh? Now, some people I know are going to write me and say, "Well, Psychic Bob, does it matter if I have a red hand, a left hand, or a right hand for my red hand of power?" It really doesn't matter, because traditionally the hand of Ulster was the right hand. This is the right hand here. You know, so as you see it, you hold it, that would be like your right hand, and put up, there's a thumb on the right side. But the baronets, which we talked about, the ones that were awarded the title of baronet, actually use the left hand. So I don't think it matters whether it's the left hand or the right hand. Whatever for you speaks the hand of power. And just buy one of these. They weren't expensive. I think it was like $14 for one of these. And then I spray painted it. Actually, it might have been less than $14. It might have been $9. I can't remember. It wasn't much money though. Less than $20. And I have an actual hand. And so I just put it here on the kind of gold field because I just thought it looks nice. It shows it off nicely. You could also put it on green or any color you want. I just put on gold because it shows it off nicely. So there you go. What do you think of that? I'm going to do a close look at it here. You can see it looks like a real hand. It's got the lines in the palm just like a real hand. It's got the wrists. Pretty cool, huh? Look at that. Fingernails. I mean, this is literally, look, when before it was painted, it looked like a pure human hand of skin. Looked very real. But now I have a magical hand of power. Now, if you want to build your own little shrine to the red hand of power, you know, you can also do some other things. These are some things that I chose to do. For example, why not offer a cord of power to bless the red hand of power? Now, you know, I'm into the purple cord these days, so I'm going to tie a purple cord around my hand. As I tie this cord, I say, may this cord guard our hand of power, that it will always be with us to guide us and protect us. So mote it be. And see, I put a cord of power on the red hand. This actually comes out of the Hindu tradition. When I used to live near the Hindu temple and work there, I noticed that the priests would tie red cords, and the Hindu tradition used red cords. You could use any color cord, red cord, blue cord, purple. I'm just using purple today because I like purple. But they would actually tie cord bracelets on the deities. That's the statues of the gods, because they believed that the god's power indwelled in the statue. And so to honor the god, they'd even give, you know, the god a bracelet. Now, you and I, of course, know that the god does not need a bracelet of defense, being a god. But it was a way for the people, the devotees of the god, to show they loved the god so much they wanted the god to even be protected. And so you can do this with your red hand of power. You can tie a cord bracelet on it as a sign of honoring it. Then what I'm going to do is just offer some light here. So I offer this and I say, red hand of power, accept this light as it burns bright. May your power flow through this home and bless us. So mote it be. And I'll just set that little candle there. And you see I have a wonderful little mystical shrine to the red hand of power. How do you like that, guys? Pretty neat, huh? So there you go. There's our red hand of power, 3D. Well, guys, there you go. There is our charm of the mystical red hand of power. I hope that you've enjoyed this today. Listen, help me out. Like this video, thumbs up, favorite it, share it with your friends, and tell your friends about Spirit Channel. And if you haven't done so, hit subscribe. Tell me in the comment box below, have you ever worked with the red hand of power? Maybe you have a red hand of power charm. Tell me about that. What are your thoughts? I want to hear from you guys. You guys are best. Thanks for being here. Make sure to pop over to my website. Whoops. And download your own free copy of the Mystic Red Hand of Power print. Okay, guys? So make sure to get that for yourselves as well. You guys are best. I love you. Keep it here at Spirit Channel. We'll be back here tomorrow on Saturday, and we'll have another charm for you. We'll see you then. Blessed be.